Hey guys, and welcome to Regional Devotion number 6, entitled Smoldering Idols. Last week we were in Judges, and we're going to continue there today in Judges chapter 6, 25 to 27. That night the Lord said to Gideon, "Take your father's bull and the second bull, 7 years old, and pull down the altar of Baal that your father has, and cut down the Asherah that is beside it, and build an altar to the Lord your God on top of the stronghold here, with stones laid in due order. Then take the second bull and offer it as a burnt offering with the wood of the Asherah that you shall cut down." So Gideon took 10 men of his servants and did as the Lord had told him, but because he was too afraid of his family and the men of the town to do it by day, he did it by night. Last week we heard how God found Gideon hiding from the Midianites, threshing wheat in a winepress. The angel of the Lord called him a mighty man of valor and sent him to liberate Israel from Midian. So God meets us where we are and calls things forth in us that are not currently active in our lives. Now, before God was able to use Gideon for his purpose of liberating Israel, he had a task for him to accomplish, starting at home. Pull down the altar of Baal, cut down the Asherah, build an altar to God, kill the second bull, and burn the offering with the wood of the Asherah. Now, this was not an altar to a god in some unidentified society. It wasn't some god that was worshipped by a people he didn't know. This was a family altar. Gideon was tasked with making a bold statement to his family and to the town where they lived. But you see, Gideon was afraid to do it in the light of day, so when everyone else was asleep, he obeyed the command of God. But what was done in the dark of night cannot be hidden at the first light of dawn. As the sun rose and people began to stir and enter into the public space, they saw the old altar gone. The tall Asherah was missing. A new altar had been erected. In one night, their landscape had changed. They could hear the crackle and could see the red embers of the sacrificial fire, and they could smell the scent of burning flesh and the smoke of smoldering idols. But mixed with the scent of the burnt offering was the sweet aroma of a life fully surrendered to God. Gideon burned that which threatened to take precedence over God. Before God would use Gideon to rescue Israel, he would first use Gideon to destroy what had become competition for the worship of Yahweh in Israel. Do you see the power and the scandal of torching everything in our lives that draws our hearts and minds away from Jesus? A missionary tells a story of a woman in a rural and isolated area of Asia that was born again through the message of the gospel. She asked the missionaries to come to her home and help her rid it of the idols, of the false gods, of the spell books that she had in her house. And as they gathered all of her old amulets and idols and demonic books, they burned them there in front of the house. And in the smoke of the burning idols, they began to study God's word with this new follower. Even a brand new believer recognized that there were things in her home, things in her intimate life that were in competition with her Redeemer. And she wanted to destroy those idols and commit herself only to Jesus Christ. What has exalted itself in your life? As a believer that's walked with Jesus for a long time, what has exalted itself in your life that now threatens to arouse the jealous wrath of God? Is it social media, ungodly forms of entertainment, obsession with your appearance or money, success, comfort, control, power, so many things? Or what about safety and security? The first commandment from God is, "I am the Lord your God. You shall have no other God before me." Guys, you know that nothing teaches us about the preciousness of God as much as when we learn the emptiness of absolutely everything else? What threatens to become the idol in your life, drawing your attention away from God and onto something much lesser? How precious today would be the aroma in the nostrils of God of our smoldering idols burned on an altar of sacrifice to Him. God bless you as you seek to serve the Lord and rid your life of idols and be fully committed only to Christ. God bless.